I never deny the fact that I do not particularly like coming-of-age teenage films. I find them unrelatable and predictable. However, Struck by Lightning is a film that I've watched twice now, kind of accidentally. I forgot that I'd watched it, so I started watching it and remembered that actually I had seen it and I really rather liked it. I think I watched it about 6 years ago for the first time, and I just thought I'd continue watching it to see if I still liked it. I'm 28, I'm not really the target audience, but I do like Rebel Wilson a lot, so I thought I'd stick with it. And it turns out that I like it just as much, if not more than I did then. So this was released in 2012, acted by Brian Dannelly and written by Chris Colfer, and stars Colfer as Carson Phillips, who is our narrator. We see everything through his perspective, and, well, at the very beginning, within the first couple of seconds, he gets struck by lightning and is dead. And then he goes back and narrates his entire high school history and the problems that he was up against. But it's a comedy, so even though he's dead, it's very funny, which is a weird thing to say. The description from IMDb is as follows: a high schooler, Carson, recounts the way he blackmailed his fellow classmates into contributing to his literary magazine. So he is very dedicated to his career as a journalist. He runs the school magazine and he needs to get writers on board, so he starts to talk to different cliques to get them to contribute to the paper, because the current staff of student writers is not the best. And it's basically just him going about his life, getting frustrated at the lack of input, the lack of creativity, and the lack of talent, because all he wants to do is graduate high school, go to the college of his choice, and be published in this, that, and the next newspaper. And he's very ambitious, and I love that. I am a writer, so that's something that I really appreciate about this. Maybe if he had been a football player and was passionate about that, I wouldn't have had that to relate to, so I may not have enjoyed it as much. But certainly the dialogue makes this brilliant. We have some great conversations, some very, very flat conversations where somebody says something and it's just silent because they've said something so bizarre, and it works really well. And you roll your eyes a lot at a lot of what's said, and you're meant to, because it's that kind of realistic approach to humor where not everything that's said is side-splitting funny. A lot of it is just, what are you saying? And that's entertaining. That mirrors reality, and I like it. I do think Carson is played expertly by Colfer. I think that's, well, I was going to say I think it's brilliant casting, but he wrote it. I assume he wrote the part for himself, but he does it very well. He's a brilliant narrator. He's a great protagonist. Although he's passionate and a little bit controlling with the paper, I didn't feel like he was stuck up or demanding. I actually wanted the best for him, so I really liked him. Rebel Wilson plays Malerie Baggs, and I love her. She's a bit different to a lot of the other students, a bit of an outcast. She's always going around with a video camcorder. That was superlative, with a camcorder, and I really like her in this, but I guess I'm biased. I think she's brilliant in everything that she does. The narrative develops at a really great pace. You never, for the most part, really know. I mean, we know how he was struck by lightning, but you never know when it's going to happen or at what point in the narrative it's going to happen. So it's pretty gripping, actually. So even though it's a coming-of-age teenage film, I genuinely really thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's rare that I can say that about something that's kind of a YA-centric film. So I would definitely recommend it. It's a really good comedy. I really enjoyed it. It has won an award. It won the jury prize for the best LGBT film at the Key West Film Festival, which is not an award I've heard of, but very well done. Apparently the filming of the film only lasted for 12 days, which is pretty impressive to come up with that in 12 days. It just makes it all the more incredible. It really is fantastic. It's not the biggest budget film and it hadn't made the most money, but genuinely I really enjoyed it. Currently on Amazon Prime, so if you want to check it out, I thoroughly suggest you to. Struck by Lightning is something a bit different and a lot of fun.